Early in the morning, the boy woke up and prepared to set out alone in the boat to go fishing. A small family of three, a father, a mother, and their 18-year-old son lived on a remote island in the middle of the sea. The island was a breathtaking paradise, a speck of emerald green surrounded by endless sapphire blue, making it a wonderful and unique place to live. The air was always filled with the sweet scent of tropical flowers and the salty temps of the ocean. Life here was simple, guided by the rhythm of the tides and the rising and setting of the sun. Every day, without fail, the boy would go fishing with his father. It was their sacred ritual, a time for bonding and learning the ancient secrets of the sea that had been passed down through generations. His father, a man whose hands were as calloused as the barnacles on the rocks and whose eyes held the wisdom of the ocean itself, had taught him everything he knew. He learned how to read the clouds to predict the weather, how to spot the subtle ripples on the surface that betrayed the presence of a school of fish, and how to navigate by the stars when the world was cloaked in darkness. These lessons were more valuable than any treasure, for they were the keys to their survival and their way of life on this isolated haven. However, today was different. The familiar routine was broken. As the first light of dawn painted the sky in hues of pink and gold, the boy found his father still in bed, his face pale and etched with discomfort. His father was feeling unwell, a rare occurrence for such a strong and resilient man. He had a fever that left him weak and unable to stand, his usual booming voice reduced to a quiet whisper. He insisted it was nothing serious, just a passing ailment, but his mother's worried expression told a different story. The boy looked at his father, a man he had always seen as an unshakable pillar of strength, and felt a pang of concern. The sea called to them, as it did every day, but for the first time, his father could not answer. The responsibility of providing for the family now rested solely on the boy's young shoulders. His mother, her face lined with a gentle worry, packed him a small lunch, her hands moving with a practiced grace that spoke of a lifetime of care. She gave him a reassuring smile, but he could see the apprehension in her eyes. Going out on the vast, unpredictable sea alone was a significant step, a true test of the skills his father had imparted. With a determined heart, the boy kissed his parents goodbye, promising to be careful and to return before dusk. He stepped out of their small, sturdy home built from driftwood and palm fronds and made his way towards the shore where their trusty boat, weathered by countless voyages, bobbed gently in the calm morning water. The familiar creak of the wooden hull as he climbed aboard was a comforting sound. He pushed off from the shore, the boat gliding smoothly over the crystal-clear water, and set his course for the open sea. The island, his home, slowly shrank behind him until it was just a green jewel on the horizon. He was alone, with only the vast expanse of the ocean and the endless sky for company. A young man on the cusp of an adventure that would test his courage and his connection to the sea. When he arrived at the familiar fishing spot, a secluded cove protected by towering black rocks, he took a moment to enjoy the rice and dried fish his mother had prepared for him since dawn. The sun was higher in the sky now, casting a warm, golden glow over the tranquil waters. He ate slowly, savoring the simple yet delicious meal, the taste of home a comforting presence in the vast solitude of the ocean. He could almost hear his father's voice in the gentle lapping of the waves against the boat, reminding him to be patient, to observe, and to respect the power of the sea. After finishing his breakfast, about an hour later, he carefully put on his fishing gear and went underwater to check the nets they had set the previous day. The world beneath the surface was a different realm entirely, a silent, vibrant tapestry of life. Sunlight filtered down through the water, creating dancing patterns on the ocean floor. Schools of brightly colored fish, like living jewels, darted past him, their scales shimmering in the light. The coral reefs were a kaleidoscope of shapes and colors, teeming with an incredible diversity of marine creatures. He moved with a quiet confidence, his movements fluid and graceful, a skill honed by years of practice alongside his father. He felt at peace here, a part of this underwater kingdom. Today, he was very lucky he found the nets were so full of large, shimmering fish that they were almost too heavy to pull. The silver bodies of mackerel, tuna, and snapper thrashed and glistened as he carefully hauled the heavy nets into the boat. The catch was so bountiful that the fish filled half the boat, their scales shining like a treasure trove of silver coins under the bright sun. It was more than they usually caught in 2 days. He felt a surge of pride and gratitude. The sea, it seemed, had decided to be generous to him on his first solo voyage. He knew his parents would be overjoyed, not just by the abundance of food, but by his success. This catch was proof that he had listened well, that he had learned the lessons his father had so patiently taught him. It was a sign that he was ready to take on the responsibilities of a man. By evening, as the sun began its slow descent, painting the sky with fiery strokes of orange, purple, and red, he returned home safely. He navigated the boat through the now familiar channel, his heart light and full of accomplishment. As he approached the shore, he could see 2 figures standing on the beach, silhouetted against the setting sun. His parents were there, waiting for him. His father, looking a little stronger, was leaning on his mother for support. The moment the keel of the boat scraped against the sand, they rushed forward. His parents were extremely happy to see their son safe and sound, their faces breaking into wide, relieved smiles. His mother wrapped him in a tight embrace, her eyes wet with tears of joy. His father placed a heavy hand on his shoulder, his grip firm and proud. And when they saw the incredible haul of fish, their eyes widened in amazement. They were also pleased with the bountiful catch. His father's face, though still pale, beamed with a pride that outshone the setting sun. He looked at his son, then at the boat overflowing with fish, and then back at his son. No words were needed. In that silent exchange, the boy understood that he had not only passed a test, but had also eased his father's burden and filled his heart with pride. That night, the family celebrated with a feast, the aroma of grilled fish filling their small home. The boys' adventure had not only brought them food, but had also strengthened their bond, a tale of courage and love that would be retold for years to come on their beautiful island home.